heard that there are more brand new homes available right now than the norm. Today, about 1 in 3 homes on the market are newly built. And if you're wondering what that means for you in the housing market and for your move, here's what you need to know. I'm Mary Burnewson with B&T Realty. People remember what happened in the housing market back in 2008. And one of those factors that contributed to that crash was there were too many homes for sale. While only part of the oversupply back then came from builders, the lasting impact is that some people still feel uneasy when they hear new home construction has ramped up. Even though the supply of new homes has grown this year, the data shows there's no need to worry. Builders aren't overbuilding, they're actually just catching up. This graph uses data from the census to show the number of new houses built over the last 52 years. Following the crash in 2008, there was a long period of underbuilding, which is shown in red. And it wasn't until recently we finally met the long-term average for how many homes are built in a typical year. This shows that even with the increase of new builds we've seen lately, there won't be a sudden oversupply of homes for sale. There's too much of a gap to make up over a decade of underbuilding. And if you're still worried builders are overdoing it, here's something else that should be reassuring. The latest data from the census on housing starts and permits show builders are slowing down their pace right now. Why is that? They're responding to the high mortgage rates and how that's impacting buyer demand. Basically, they're pulling back appropriately in response to what's happening in the market. As an article from Housing Wire explains, even with a massive housing shortage across the nation, home builders are completing their pipelines and not seeking as many permits to construct new single-family houses. Builders remember what happened when they overbuilt in the crash, and they're looking to avoid a repeat of that. So they're being mindful and they're pulling back a bit. If you're considering a newly built home, here's how this impacts you. With builders seeking fewer permits and not breaking ground on as many homes, we may be at the peak of new home construction for the year. Now, this doesn't mean new home construction is screeching to a stop, just that the pace is slowing down. And that'll impact what comes to the market later this year. As Lawrence Young, chief economist of the National Association of Realtors, says, given the recent declines in housing starts, home completion will steadily decline in about 6 months. So if you're ready and you're able to buy now, you may find that you'll have more newly built options to choose from versus later. And this may be enough to kickstart your search. While it's true, new home construction is a bigger segment of the market than normal, that's not a bad thing. Builders aren't overbuilding, they're responding to market signals to avoid repeating the mistake that was made in 2008. If you want to buy now, while new homes options are at their peak, let's connect. A valuable insight into builder reputations and other key factors of this market. And if there isn't much new construction near you, I'll be able to point you towards a nearby area where there is. Thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to help you find your new home build.